We want to bring in Kellyanne Conway, who is Trump's campaign manager, joins us now from Trump Tower. Kellyanne, you have been out on the campaign trail. You're getting in reports now. What can you tell us about the state of this race?
I can tell you that it's still a jump ball in many places, Norah, and we're really happy. I mean, for a campaign that has won a fraction of the personnel, a fraction of the money as they do at Team Clinton, we're proud of our efforts on the ground, focusing some of our late in the game resources in some of these places. So we see North Carolina and Florida as a jump ball right now. We're feeling really good about Iowa and Ohio, and then we're looking at flipping a blue state like Michigan or perhaps Pennsylvania, like the late-breaking polls in New Hampshire and Colorado as well. So we see a couple different routes. We see about 6 or 7 different routes to 270, and we're just going to be patient as these returns come in. We know people are still standing in line to vote, and I don't want to talk too much about exit polls that may dampen them one way or the other.
Now, your campaign filed suit in Nevada earlier today over the election. What can you tell us about that?
I understand the judge is not entertaining that suit at the moment. We had received information that perhaps the polls were kept open later to allow folks to vote. And so if it's active litigation, I shouldn't comment on it further. But what I read is I've read that the judge is not entertaining that lawsuit at the moment.
What's wrong with allowing the voters a chance to vote?
Well, we're all for allowing voters to vote. We're all for rule of law. That's really what our campaign is about. We're not the ones under active FBI investigations or being said by the FBI director we've been reckless and careless about handling classified information. So, of course, we're for the rule of law. We believe people who want to vote ought to be able to do that if they're in line on time and if all other procedures have been met.
Kellyanne, you described Florida as a jump ball, but that's also a must-win state for you. I've spoken with the Clinton campaign, as I've spoken with your campaign throughout the day. The Clinton campaign says that they believe they have banked such a big early vote with new Hispanic voters who've never voted before that even if Donald Trump had huge numbers at the polls, there's no way he could win that state. How do you reply?
I think that's a little bit of spin and sophistry. If that were true, then you'll see Florida called early. What we see is a very strong day of vote in Florida today, particularly in counties where we've improved the margins over Governor Romney's margins in 2012. We have people deployed in these counties who are talking to us about the returns, and we're getting data inputs into our war room on a constant basis, Norah. And we like the fact that Mr. Trump seems to have grown the turnout and grown the voter share within some of these key counties across Florida. The other thing I would say is that we already know Republicans are behind in early votes. That's why we count on a big day of vote in places like Florida and Nevada and North Carolina. And then when you look at states that don't have a tradition of early voting like Michigan, Pennsylvania, and New Hampshire, that's part of why we went back to those states late in the game, because most of those voters, will, except for those who vote absentee, will cast their ballots today on Election Day.
All right, Kellyanne Conway, thank you so much.